Hi Stitchy friends, and welcome to my Flosstube channel. My name is Kenzie from Mudpuppy Stitchery. I am a cross-stitch designer, I am a bird nerd and a wildlife lover, and I enjoy doing all of the crafty things. So if you're new, welcome. I hope you like what you see, and I hope that you'll continue to follow up with me on my future videos. And for my current subscribers, thank you so very much for your continued support. I greatly appreciate it. I hope you all had a wonderful time since I've last seen you, and I swear I say this all the time whenever I come on here, but it has been another busy but very fun month for me. My dad had a birthday end of May, and then my sister had a birthday early June, and then I had a birthday after that, so everyone is all birthdayed out by the end of June for my family. But I did have a birthday cross-stitch start, which I will show you in a little bit. But my family and my boyfriend's family got together at the Minnesota Zoo for one of their adult nights. And this is super duper fun. And they do this quite a bit during the summertime, where it's 21 plus, and they have lots of food trucks, and they serve alcohol and have live music playing. And you get to walk around the zoo and see all of the animals close up without all the screaming children. So it's basically a win-win. I definitely recommend it if you're in the area to try it out, because it is so much fun. This Friday I met up with some of my college girlfriends who I haven't seen since last September, and we actually took a 4.5-hour kayak ride down the Cannon River, and boy was it hot. It was very, very warm that day. But it was in the 90s, and we were constantly applying sunscreen, literally like every 20 minutes, and we still got pretty burned. But I was kind of a bit of an idiot, and I forgot to apply sunscreen to my legs for some reason, and now I have these fabulous burn lines from my cropped leggings, so that's fantastic. But like I was saying, it's been a hot summer here in Minnesota, and it usually doesn't get to these temperatures until like late August, but for some reason we're getting them right now. But anyway, I'm really excited for the rest of the summer because it is literally my absolute favorite time of the year. Alright, so now that I've caught you up on a little bit of what's been going on in my life, I will give you an Eagle news update. So if you've watched my previous videos, you'll know I like to give you guys a rundown of what has happened lately on the live bald eagle cams. And again, if you're not interested in this portion, you can skip to this time point. But our eagle updates are unfortunately going to come to a close pretty soon, just because it's almost done with nesting season here in Minnesota and in the Midwest area. But by about this time, the chicks are full size, and they are learning how to fly, and they are learning how to catch food, and then they will be off on their own soon. So as you know, this nest is being live recorded in Decorah, Iowa, and it's near a fish hatchery, and they have one chick that was hatched on April 6th, and their name is DH2. And here's a picture of what DH2 currently looks like, and you'll notice they are not in the nest anymore. He or she, we don't know the gender, is hopping onto branches that are close by the nest and starting to test out their wings and their ability to grip onto branches. But soon DH2 will fledge or attempt to take their first flight, and then they'll stick around with the mom or dad a little bit longer until they are completely on their own. So just as a recap, you can see what DH2 looked like on April 17th, and then again on May 15th, and now on June 25th. So absolutely insane growth in only a couple of months. But at this point, they are completely covered in dark plumage, and their flight feathers are fully formed. Now, what's really interesting is that eaglets of this size, they will physically look larger than their mom or dad at this point, and that is because of their flight feathers. So young eagles, they have flight feathers that are actually several inches longer than the adults, because these, you can think of them as training feathers. So it's almost like having training wheels on your first bike. And this gives the young eagle a little bit of extra boost and help while it's learning how to fly. And then eventually these longer flight feathers, they'll molt off and then they'll become normal adult-sized feathers, which makes them a little bit faster and less clunky, basically. When I used to work full-time with injured bald eagles at an education facility, we would always have people coming in and seeing these big dark eagles that were sitting next to the bald eagles and assuming because they were bigger and darker that they were actually golden eagles instead of bald eagles. This is most definitely not the case. One, because golden eagles don't eat fish and are not found near water at all. They eat quite the opposite. They are mainly eating a lot of rabbits and rats and turkeys and sometimes even small deer. And two, we only have a small migrating population of golden eagles that visits here in Minnesota during the dead of winter. And they're basically migrating down from the Arctic Circle. And these goldens, they see Minnesota as their winter getaway, basically because they can find more food down here versus up in the Arctic Circle. But at this point, DH2 has to learn a lot of skills very, very quickly. And they need to learn how to fly, they need to learn how to catch food, how to actually rip apart that food, and how to not get attacked by other eagles. So he's got a lot to learn, he or she, and I hope you've really been enjoying our Eagle News update, and I will of course link it down below if you'd like to check it out for yourself. Alright, on to the stitching. So last time I had showed you this piece, I had said I would be focusing on completing the upper right hand corner of the chart, and luckily I was able to do that. So here it is. And I'm going to try and put something behind it so hopefully the light won't shine through it. Alright, this is what I have so far. So this is my 100 Owls piece by Owl Forest Embroidery. And this is actually a free chart that you can download on their website. But I am using most of the called for DMC colors, and I am stitching this on 18 count moss by My Vintage Needle Arts. So I'm going to try and get a little bit closer. Hopefully you can take a good look. And I started stitching this sometime in August of 2021. So that's the full piece, and then I'm going to fold this up a little bit so you can just see the part that I was working on. So this is the portion that I worked on. I added all these in this upper right hand corner, and I think my favorite one is going to be this one. He's the owl that's basically shaking out his tail feathers, and I love it. He's so cute. But my goal for this piece would be to drop down to the middle portion and to try and complete, there's like a tree with lots of little owls on it. So let me see if I can show you the chart. I kind of have a crappy printout, unfortunately. But it's right in the center here, so a tree with lots of little owls, and I have all this portion complete. I'm just going to try and drop down here. So yeah, so that's my progress on 100 Owls by Owl Forest Embroidery. Hi Stitchy friends, I totally forgot to press record on this last clip, so I had to refilm it. So here we are. But this is my birthday start. This is called Song of the Morning by Modern Folk Embroidery, and it's actually called this, which is Persian. I don't want to try to pronounce it because I will probably screw it up. And I started working on this on June 8th on an unknown piece of light gray 18 count fabric. And you'll notice that I completely changed the colors to greens and oranges and pinks, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. And I finally was able to get down to the fun part where I'm starting all the birds and the flowers, but I am really happy I have most of the border, or at least over half of the border done, so that's really good. At the bottom it does have the Persian title, and I will probably rechart that to the English version. And yeah, I'm hoping I can get that one done pretty soon.
I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to fully finish it, but I'm just excited to keep going on this one.
So the last stitch that I worked on was this one. And I very much apologize because this chart, so it was gifted to me a few years ago by my family, and I don't think I was ever given a cover page that says the name of the chart, unfortunately. So I do know this was bought off of Etsy, but I feel like I had looked into it and had found that that Etsy seller was no longer selling patterns. So unfortunately, you probably won't be able to get a hold of this pattern anyway. But luckily, there are lots of beautiful moth and bug charts out there on Etsy. Just basically type it into the search bar and you'll find something that's similar to this. But this is what I have so far, and I have only worked on this a couple nights, so not that much progress, but I am reinvigorated to complete this as soon as possible because it is so darn close. But this was stitched on 18 count Colonial Green by My Vintage Needle Arts, and I definitely need to buy more of this fabric. It is just absolutely stunning and I love it. But since I don't have a cover page, I will just quickly flash the pattern of the last moth just so you can get a general idea of what it looks like from afar. So you can see the 3 moths, and I'm working on this bottom one right here. But like I said, I'm going to be focusing on this piece, trying to finish off this last moth down here, and I should have it complete by the next time you see me, maybe even fully finished. I can't guarantee that, but we shall see. But I'm not entirely sure how I'm gonna fully finish it. I've got lots of ideas, but I am really excited to do so. So those are the 3 cross-stitch whips that I've been working on since my last video, but I also have some acquisitions, or as Denise from Black Ribbon Stitch Studio says, some investments to my future happiness. And I also have some things kitted up too, which I would like to show you. But first off, I was gifted quite a few charts, or a couple charts rather, for my birthday, and the first one is called American Kestrel. And this is a stitch pattern from Chickadee Needlework on Etsy, and I think this should be a super quick and easy stitch. I absolutely love it. There's only like 4 colors, and I was 5 colors actually, and I was able to pick all of those up. And I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to stitch on this yet, but again, I've acquired the flosses, so this will probably be a start relatively soon. So the next pattern I received for my birthday is the Modern Floral Abstract from Box and Fox on Etsy. And it is a full coverage, and it is so bright and so beautiful and happy. And what I really like about this piece is that there are large blocks of color. So even though it's full coverage, I feel like it should be relatively easy just to go around the outside and then just fill in. So really excited to start this eventually. And because it is full coverage, I just bought a piece of 18 count fiddler's cloth from Hobby Lobby to start that on. And then here are all the beautiful flosses. I'm going to try and lay them down on the Ada here so you guys can see. There we go, you can kind of see. So lots of beautiful, beautiful thread colors. Very excited to start that. But this one isn't super big. It is 140 by 109 stitches, so very doable. And as to when I might start this one, I'm not entirely sure, but I am sure happy to have kitted it up and have it ready to go. So I also splurged on a bit of fabric recently from NikkisGlenNeedlework on Etsy, and I am very pleased with everything, so I want to show that to you guys. But the first one that I picked out is an 18 count cornflower by Fiber on a Whim, and I have never bought from Fiber on a Whim before, but wow, their fabric is absolutely stunning, and I will definitely be buying more eventually. But it's this beautiful mid-tone blue with lots of variegation and splotching, and it's just beautiful. But I am planning on using this piece to eventually start October 31st by Cottage Garden Samplings, and this probably won't get started until the end of summer and or early fall, but extremely excited for this. I think it's going to go perfectly on that fabric. The next piece of fabric I picked up was an 18 count parchment by Fiber on a Whim, and it's a lovely mid-tone greenish yellow, and it is just beautiful. Lots of nice splotching, and it just looks stunning. But I think this is going to look fantastic with Birds and Berries from the Prairie Schooler. I think that's going to look really good on here. And I will probably stitch each of these individually instead of all together, so then I can do like a fun collage hanging piece. So I'm very excited to do that. Love the fabric. I can't wait to get started on that. And then the last piece of fabric I purchased was a very large piece of 18 count evergreen by Fiber on a Whim. So you can see very large cut of it. And I am in love, absolutely in love. Look at how stunning this is. It's this beautiful like mid-tone sagey green, and it is just literal perfection. So I am so glad I got a really large piece of it, and I'm definitely going to be buying more of it because it's just absolutely beautiful. But for this piece, I am thinking of eventually starting Prairie Birds by the Prairie Schooler. See if I can hold both of these together. But I think that would look beautiful together. And like I had mentioned before, I will probably do like a long 5x5 piece, so I kind of get a long skinny finish, and I think it's going to be stunning. So very excited to start that. And then the last piece of fabric I would like to show you is actually from my stash. I just haven't been able to figure out exactly what I want to do with it until now. So this is a piece of 18 count dark pink fabric by My Vintage Needle Arts, and this is like a stunning raspberry sherbet color, and I absolutely love it. But I think I have finally decided what pattern I want to put on this fabric, and I'm thinking I will probably do a Strawberry Bird by the Blue Flower. Now, I know this is a little bit of a risk with such a bright fabric, but I do think the cedar waxwings, which are on here, they're going to really pop against this background, and then the green of the leaves will look fantastic also against this background color. Again, I'm not sure when I'll start this, but I've got fabric picked out, and I am super duper excited for it. There's one last thing of haul that I'd like to show you, and I bought this at the dollar section in Target, which I'm always a sucker for, but seriously, if it has a B on it, I want it. It's got my name written all over it. But I thought this was absolutely adorable, and I thought it would be perfect for adding to my hypothetical bee wall, which I'd like to do. But I am thinking of doing this chart, the modern folk embroidery piece called How Doth the Little Busy Bee. That's very hard to say. And I think it would look really incredible hanging from the bottom of this sign and maybe attached with some ribbon. I think that would look super cute as like a fully finished thing. So that's an idea right there. And actually, while I'm showing you all these bee things, I might as well show you a couple older finishes that also have bees on them as well. So these are actually from a Prairie Schooler chart, and I completed these in 2021, and they are stitched on like a random piece of 16 count Aida, which I found on sale at Michael's several years ago, and I finished them into cute little hanging ornaments, and I'm really happy with how they turned out. These were my first ornaments that I'd ever made, and I'm really proud of how they turned out, basically. So super cute. And then another older finish, another bee finish, was this one, which I finished a couple years ago, and this is of course another Prairie Schooler. I think it is called Where There Are Bees. And this was finished on some pre-packaged 16 count Aida, and was fully finished in a frame from Hobby Lobby, I think. And so this was a lot of fun, and I really can't wait to set up a bee wall and when I have a lot more space, and I think it's going to look great. So I wanted to mention next that I am currently working on the next raptor in my Raptors and Fruit series. The first of which is a red-tailed hawk, and which is surrounded by raspberries, and then the second was an American kestrel surrounded by kiwis. So I'm working on the third one, and I actually posted a sneak peek on my Instagram recently. So let me know down below what your guess is for this third raptor. Alright, on to freebies. So I was looking on the DMC website again for freebies, and I am so surprised at how many they have on there, but I'm only going to show you 2 for today. But the first one is called Floral Stars, and that would make a really pretty ornaments. And then you could literally change the colors to whatever you'd like, but you guys know me, I've got a thing for pinks and greens and oranges, so I was immediately attracted to those. And then the next one I found is beautiful. It's just this stunning rose pattern. And then both of these will of course be linked down below in the description box. But just to note, in order to get the pattern for free, you do have to subscribe to the DMC newsletter, and it will create an account for you, and then you'll receive the link to download. But I do think that's well worth it with the incredible amount of free designs that you get there. Moving on to giveaways. So on video 7, I had announced a winner to give away my PDF chart called Step by Step. And this chart is 155 by 149 stitches with 14 DMC colors. And this chart was won by Lisa Boban. I still haven't heard from Lisa, so Lisa, if you're listening, if you could please reach out to me at my email address down below before my next video, then I can send you the PDF copy of that chart. And if I don't hear back from Lisa by my next video, I'll do a redraw. I was also giving away a PDF copy of my chart Red Tail Raspberries. And this chart has 17 DMC colors and is 130 stitches by 180 stitches. And the winner is Gwen Gablehouse. So congratulations, Gwen. Please contact me below at my email address, and I will get your chart out to you right away. So thank you everyone for playing. So something that's kind of frustrating about the YouTube Creator Studio is that it's really hard to tell when people have tagged you or mentioned you in a video. And it just seems like it's kind of in a slightly hidden spot. So I've noticed I have quite a few people that have mentioned me in their videos, and I wanted to give them a very belated shout out and a thank you for that. But for some of them I haven't had a chance to go back and fully watch all of their videos yet, but they are on my list, and just know that I truly appreciate it, and thank you so very much. But the first one is Sarah from Sarah's Stitchy Spot. She mentioned me, and I'm almost through your most recent video, and you are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for the amazing shout out. So please go check her out and subscribe to her channel. I was also shouted out by Belle Stitches, Julie in Stitches, and the Aussie Stitcher. So I wanted to thank you guys so very much. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you. And I also was shouted out by the one and the only Kim, the Contented Needleworker, and wow, that was a huge deal. And I am so grateful and so thankful for her incredibly kind and wonderful shout out. So thank you so much, Kim. As always, I will have these incredible stitchers listed down below, so please do go check them out, and please do subscribe to them. Alright, Stitchy friends, that is all that I have for you today. I really hope that you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, I would ask that you please like the video, please comment down below, and check out my Etsy page, which will also be linked. Please follow me at Mudpuppy Stitchery on Instagram to keep an eye on what I'm doing in between videos. And just know that I appreciate you so very much, and I hope to see you in about a month. So take care, do some bird watching, and stitch all of the things. Bye!